So, as per multiple studies, adolescence is a nutritionally demanding phase of life. Even though both adolescent boys and girls face emotional changes during this period, girls face more psychological demand as compared to the boys and thus require a higher intake of macro and you know micronutrients, and it is very necessary. So, however, in society, women are traditionally discriminated against, the excluded from political and family related decisions. So, despite their daily contribution to support their families, their opinion are rarely acknowledged and their rights are limited. So, society does indeed recognize many women's rights, including the right to political involvement, family allowance, and setting up a business. So, that's the thing. So, nevertheless, in rural areas, poverty and a lack of information represent its real barriers to women independence and empowerment. So today I'll talk about that what are the various issues related to women. There are a lot of issues that we can notice in our society which all are related with women. Female infanticide and foeticide. India has one of the highest rate of female foeticide in the world. Female foeticide is due to strong son preference, the practice of dowry, and the partly necessity of heat. The census of 2011 has recorded the lowest ever sex ratio of 914 in the age group of 0 to 6 years, and it's with 3 million missing girls. And from 78.8 million in 2001 to 75.8 million in 2011. If I'm talking about a child marriage, that each year at least 1.5 million girls under 18 get married in India, which makes it home to the largest number of child brides in the world. So it's accounting for a third of the global total. Nearly 60% of the adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 are currently married. So while child marriage has declined, it has been marginal from 27% in 2015 to 16, and it's 23% in 2019 to 20. So according to National Family Health Survey, like if I'm talking about education, the girls are encouraged and engaged more in household work, and it drop out of school at an early age. So that's the main problem. A study by the International Center of Research on Women has found that girls out of school are 3.4 times more likely to be married or have their marriage already fixed than girls who are still in a school. That's the major thing. And like in health and mortality, we can say girls in India face discrimination both inside their homes and outside in their communities. Inequality in India means unequal opportunity for girls. So, under 5 mortality for girls in India remains 8.3% higher than for boys. Globally, this is 14% higher for boys. And malnutrition, if I'm talking about that, both boys and girls are almost equally likely to be undernourished. And for the girls, the nutritional intake is relatively inferior both in terms of quality and quantity. The girl, the we can say the situation of girls doesn't seems to be improved. The health of the girls also suffered due to the additional burden from early and multiple pregnancies. So, due to partial society, boys are given relatively more nutritious food as they are, deemed breadwinners of the family. Especially if the family is poor and is not in a position to provide nutrition food to all the children. The poor nutritional status of women during the reproductive period is responsible for the undernutrition of children. And domestic violence is also there. So, violence against a woman continues to be an obstacle to achieving equality. So, if development and its peace as well as to the fulfillment of women and girls' human rights. And household inequality is also there. Household relations show gender bias in infinitesimally small but significant manners across the globe. It's more so in India, sharing the burden of housework, childcare, and menial works by so-called division of work. So, what is the current situation of the women health? This is the question. This is a very big question in front of us. Even in India, we can see its condition going worse towards these days. So, growth in risk of anemia, the National Family of Health Survey and its data in 1920 show an increase in anemia among adolescent girls by 5% when compared to NFHS 4. So it's pandemic outcome. We can see the situation. The Comprehensive National Nutrition Survey 2019 showed that even before the pandemic, consumption of diverse food of group among adolescents was low. And post-pandemic outcomes, we can see the fallout of COVID-19 has further worsened dietary diversity, especially among women, adolescents, and children also. So, according to a study by the Tata Cornell Institute for Agriculture and Nutrition, so women's dietary diversity in India declined by 42% during COVID-19 and lockdown as they consumed fewer fruits, vegetables, and eggs also. So, reduction in supply of nutrition services is also there. So, the lockdown also led to the loss of midday meals and interruption in weekly iron folic acid supplementation. And its nutrition education in school for adolescent girls. So this was compounded by challenges in providing nutrition services to out of school adolescent girls, which further increase their vulnerability to poor nutrition outcomes. So it's the need of the hour. It's a very needful thing for the women also. So need for dietary diversity. So adolescents in the window of opportunity where practices of dietary diversity can be built to correct nutritional deficiency and replenish the body with much needed nutrition, especially for girls. So micronutrition deficiency is also there. So currently 80% of adolescents suffer hidden hunger. So due to micronutrition deficiencies is there. So the trend is more prevalent in girls as they already suffer multiple nutritional deprivations. So it is required to strengthen the initiatives to address deficiency of Not just iron and folic acid, but also vitamin B12, vitamin D, and zinc also. So, what are the women centric findings of NFHS 5? We need to understand this. So, underage marriages, that's the main cause, I think. So, we need some implementation in this field from the government also. The national average of underage marriages has come down according to NFHS 5. So it's 23.3% of women survived got married before attaining the legal age of 18 years. It's down from 26.8% reported to in NFHS 4. That's the report shows it. The figure of underage marriages among men is 17.7%, and it's now 20.3%. Okay, so highest surge is there. The rate has increased in Punjab, West Bengal, Manipur, Tripura, and Assam also. In Tripura has seen the largest jump in marriages for women from 33.1% to 40.1%, and it's according to NHFS 4, and from 16.2% to 20.4% among men. So that's the difference. The highest rate of underage marriages is there, like West Bengal along with Bihar remains one of the states with the highest rate of underage marriages. Lowest rate of underage marriages is there, and it can be in Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, Nagaland, Kerala, Pondicherry, and Tamil Nadu is also there. So teenage pregnancies, if I'm talking about that, teenage pregnancies are down from 7.9% to 6.8%. Domestic violence against women, that's also a very big cause. So overall, domestic violence has come down marginally from 31.2% in 2015 to 16, and it's to 29.3% in 2019 to 21. Highest and lowest states. So domestic violence against women is highest in Karnataka at 48%, followed by Bihar, Telangana, Manipur, and Tamil Nadu. So women's empowerment is indicators portray and considerable improvement at all India level and across all the phase 2 state duties. Significant progress has been recorded between NFHS 4 and NFHS 5 in regard to women operating bank account from 53% to 79% at all India levels. So more than 70% of women in every state and UTs in the second phase have operational bank accounts. If I'm talking about the anemia, the incidence of anemia in women 53.1 to 57%, and in men 22.7 to 25%. It has worsened in all states of India. It's 20% to 40% incidence is considerable moderate. So that's the actual percentage. And bearing Kerala at 39.4%. All states are in the severe category. So what can be the way forward? That's the question. So integrated efforts for better health services, the NFHS findings are a reminder of the urgent need to close the gap in girls' education and address the poor health status of women. Currently, times require integrated and coordinated efforts from all health institutions, academia, and other partners directly or indirectly associated with the healthcare services. It's to make these services accessible, it's affordable and acceptable also. especially for those who can't easily afford them. And there are some technology, like promoting technology is there, that base services among women. In the next few years, the combination of mobile technology, in banking sector, education, and women's economic empowerment will be, significant drivers to address informal discriminatory norms. So, although the percentage of women using mobile, internet, and banking facilities has increased, this is still not at par with those of men. There should be sufficient stress on promoting and teaching the use of such facilities to women, as availability and utilization of such resources is also an indicator of empowerment among women. So we need to resolve these issues together from the society. We need to brush up our mind. We need to a certain mindset on this topic. Crime against women cannot be resolved in the court of law alone. A comprehensive approach and changing the entire ecosystem is what is required. All the stakeholders need to get their, act together, including lawmakers, police officers is also there. So forensic department, prosecutors, judiciary, medical and health department. Like there are some NGOs and rehabilitation centers there. So addressing discriminatory social norms, if I'm talking about. So to empower women and ensure gender justice, it is imperative to address harmful practices such as child marriage and gender biased sex selection. There is a need to enhance the value of women and girls by working on transforming unequal power relations, its structural inequalities and discriminatory norms, attitudes, and behaviors also. So it is important to engage with men and boys, so particularly in their formative years, to promote positive masculinity and gender equal values. So we need a inclusion of diverse diet source and nutrition counseling over. So along with continued services, a delivery of WIFS, the government health and nutrition policies, and need to emphasize on strong compliance to diverse diet and physical activities. This includes locally sourced fruit and vegetables, like some seasonal diets, and the inclusion of millets. So this further needs to be supplemented by strengthened nutritional counseling for adults and girls through community workers' home visits. It can be by building a strong ecosystem in a school to promote healthy habit and diets. Virtual counseling nowadays, so we can do this virtual counseling, and comprehensive nutrition counseling through community-based event and village health, sanitation and nutrition days. So improvisation of policy interventions and integrated approach is needed along with women-centric policy making. Where women are not treated as passive beneficiary, but are seen as a potential contributor to society. Reformative steps such as the recent amendment of increasing the legal age of marriage for women from 18 years to 21 years. An integrated approach is needed along with the women-centric policy making, where women are not treated as passive beneficiaries but are seen as a potential contributor to society. So, as of now, along with all the policies and interventions, it is equally crucial to ensure that the girls remain in school or formal education. Their safety is also ensured and their health and nutrition are prioritized. Only then can such measures provide opportunities for girls to improve their nutritional and health outcomes. So that was a very, very, very important discussion. Thanks for watching.